What's going on, everyone? Tallen back here, and today I did not expect to be making this video, but we just woke up, or I just woke up basically, and hey, would you look at that? Cell and Gohan information is here. Now, I know a lot of you guys have probably seen this already, because it was like, again, 3 a.m. my time when I was there, but I decided to bring a special guest onto the channel, and we are going to quickly go over the cards, and then we're going to talk about our thoughts on them, because we've got some mixed feelings on some of this stuff. So, let me go and introduce the man who needs probably no introduction, but I'm still going to nonetheless. Nolar, go and say hello, man.
What's up, everyone? Hello, YouTube. I'm here to give you my thoughts on what I think are two really good cards, but one's definitely better. Yep.
And we had some initial, predictions for what we thought these might be, but unfortunately, we have to squash our just future hopes for some of these LR cards. Now, this is one reason, we'll get this in this later. This is one reason I really wish these cards had not been LRs, because if they hadn't, then I think their leader skills would have been a little bit better for certain units and everything. And I know that some of the stuff that are in some of these cards are maybe true to the source material, or it makes sense based on what they did in the show and everything, but sometimes that doesn't always translate well to good gameplay, right, man?
Yeah, I mean, as much as I'd like it to be faithful to the source material, some of the stuff, as indicated with other cards we have that have similar restrictions, not so fun.
Yep, exactly. So, real quickly, I'm gonna go quickly over the Cell and the Gohan real quick, because again, I know you guys have mostly seen this, so we're just gonna go straight through everything, and then Nolar and I are going to start talking about our thoughts first. First, we're going to talk about Cell, what we think about him, teams, how we think he's going to perform and everything, and then Gohan. Now, again, initially, we don't have the cards in front of us, obviously. There's no data download, so we can't even jump on to test them if we wanted to, or anything like that. But, again, just based on what we see on the paper and what we know from past LRs, when we come out and say, oh, this guy was crap, oh, wait, this guy turned out to be really good, we're going to take a look at it, okay? So, first off, let's take a look at Cell, perfect form before his transformation, okay? So, leader skill, Android/Cell Saga, the new category that just released on both Global and JP, well, or it's about to release, basically. Key +4, HP attack up 150%, and defense up 170%. Makes sense that he would get this because, well, in terms of the +4 key, I should say, because the category is kind of limiting. It's going to be a weird category to make some teams on for this particular category itself, okay? Or he's extreme int types, key +3, stats up 120%. So this right here, Nolar and I were both hoping that he was going to be the artificial life form in some other category. Yeah. And we're going to talk about Gohan in a bit as well, but I think we have to officially confirm that we just have to squash our hopes that LRs for this time in the game are not going to have double category leads. It's just not going to happen. The only one that I know that has double category leads is the LR Go Bros, right?
Yep, that's the only one I can think of. Yep.
So 90% of the time, I'm going to say it's probably just going to have the typing. It's going to have the 120% typing. If we're lucky enough to get a secondary category, awesome. But until then, that was another reason. That was the main reason also that I didn't want these guys to be LRs. Because normally with the double Dokkan Fest cards, for the most part, for this last 5-6 months or so, we've had nothing but dual categories. So anyway, looking at his passive skill, we've got attack and defense up 80%, raises defense up to 80% based on the amount of HP you have. So he's very similar to cards that say like, hey, if you have more HP, you've got more defense. If you got less HP, you have more attack, things like that. And then for every enemy that's on the field, he gets an additional attack up 20% and +1 key. Okay, so that's pretty good. And then evolves when conditions are met. We're going to get into his transformation mechanic in just a second. Special, or super attacks, basically. 12 key super attack, causes colossal damage to the enemy and massively lowers defense. That's whatever, honestly. And an 18 key super attack, raises attack for 1 turn, and greatly raises, I should say, and causes mega colossal damage to the enemy, okay? Transformation can be activated when facing off against one opponent starting at the 3rd turn. Only once, which I don't know why they have to put the only once thing in there. Categories: Android Cell Saga category, Resurrected Warriors Full Power, Androids, Transformation Boost, Time Travelers, Artificial Life Forms, and Kamehameha, which is a new category, which we'll get into in a little bit, okay? Now, when we go over to his perfect form, so when he transforms after that 3rd turn, and he transforms, leader skill obviously stays the same, right? Passive skill, fully recovers HP. Like, what the heck? Just fully recovers HP on that one. +4 key and attack and defense up 120%. Then, if you get 4 key orbs or more, you get an additional attack and defense up 20%. If that is 6 orbs, you get an additional 20% attack and defense. And if you get 8 orbs in total, then that's another additional 20% attack. So on paper, you're probably looking at 180% defense, 160% defense. But because of how things are calculated with this particular type of passive, it's multiplicative, which means it's going to do a lot more damage than it initially looks like, okay? 12 key super attack causes colossal damage to the enemy and massively lowers defense. Again, whatever on that one. And then 18 key super attack causes a mega colossal damage to the enemy and lowers attack and defense, which is really good for Super Battle Road. And then ultimate attack. So he gets an active skill, which gives him an ultimate attack. Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, anybody? So Solar Kamehameha greatly raises attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage to the enemy, and massively lowers defense. Okay, we're gonna change it up a bit here. Let's just start talking about Cell right now. Let's just start talking about him. Sure. Initial thoughts on him, man. Go.
I mean, he seems to be the most consistent, reliable card of the two between him and Gohan. So he'll constantly be hitting high damage numbers, and the fact that he has an active skill to Solar Kamehameha, which does damage, he can rip through some people pretty quick. And so to me, he's the card I'm going to go for first. I mean, clearly I'll go for both, but he's the guy that his team will be pretty ridiculous. That's all I can say.
Yep, I absolutely 100% agree. Regardless of who you like more or who you're going to go for, because maybe you do have the better leader or the better team for maybe the Gohan's team compared to the Cell team, because again, that is one thing we'll knock against Cell. His category is a little weird, to say the least, with him as the leader, but he'll work on... I could see him working on Resurrected Warriors somewhat. I could see him working on full power if you go more of an extreme type full power team.
Right.
Androids, no problem. I see him working very well in androids. Transformation boosts, maybe. I guess it depends on the cards you have. Time Travelers, I would say, is probably one of the weird ones, to be honest.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
Well, it's because, we don't know their links, links, right? So we're not really sure, because Time Travelers is led by either Goku Black, or the future. Trunks and Mai. And if you're running him with Goku Black, his main linking skill is Fear and Faith, which is normally Cells don't have that. Granted, this one pre-transformation is Cell perfect form. So, and again, we don't know what the links are, so technically he could have it pre-transformation, but then post-transformation, I think he would look more like the LR physical Cell, who doesn't have Fear and Faith. He has shocking speed usually. Right. So it might be a little wonky, but like in Goku Black, if you get him to transform, he gives 3 ki anyways, and it's not really like the transformed Cell doesn't need ki to start. He needs to get ki orbs.
Yeah, he needs the orbs.
So if anything, you probably run more orb changers with this Cell in order to make sure he gets that huge boost in his attack and defense.
Right, exactly. And then artificial life forms, unfortunately, this is one that I think a lot of people are hoping for, that we would have finally an artificial life form category, because LR Baby is, 130%, and he's just on your normal LR banners. We're looking for like kind of a true category lead. Well, I guess we're still waiting. So maybe Kid Buu in the future, who's to know? But then again, he might be LR, so then he's gonna have the type, So.
Right. So yeah, we'll never know. We're still waiting for an actual good artificial life form lead. Like the LR Babies, he's your typical 130 4 key lead, which is fine, but you're never gonna see the true potential of the category until you get a Dokkan Fest lead. Right. So.
Once we see that 150 lead for at least 150 for artificial life forms, then we can start to see the potential in this category, or in this card, essentially. So
yeah, on that team specifically, yeah.
Yep, exactly. And then the new category, Kamehameha, we don't know much about it aside from because we're all basing it off of the link right now. So assuming nobody gets the shaft, it is Akatsuki. Sometimes they shaft certain units, saying like, well, technically he's got it, but here he doesn't. So. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. But based on the link itself, Cell could work on Kamehameha depending on what kind of team you like to run and everything. Especially maybe if you do more of a... because generally, I think for the most part, people don't like to run super and extreme cards together because they don't meld well key-wise and link-wise and everything. But maybe Cell might somewhat work because then you could throw on the EZA STR Goten because he changes orbs and he could help Cell out a lot right there if he was off rotation maybe. So it's hard to say. We're not really sure on that. So, but I mean, overall, like when you look at him just based on paper, Cell, in my mind, is the one I want to go for first because he just he does everything, right? He's a jack of all trades. He's strong. He doesn't have good like, defense. Oh my God. Yeah, he's got good defense. He doesn't have anything where it's like, you know, oh, if you're not facing off against this opponent or you don't have this or you don't do this, it doesn't matter. He still is going to do everything. Like, yeah, okay, technically facing off against one opponent to get his transformation, that's not very hard on, I mean, most events are one opponent. Even on Super Battle Road, even if you've got 5 opponents, you're probably ripping through that stage already. Or if you do have 1 to 2 opponents, boom, you can transform right there. Because you just take out one opponent, and then you've got the second one going on. So that's all you have to do.
Yeah, I mean, even on Super Battle Road, even if you don't get that one opponent by the 5th turn when he comes back, you probably have one opponent left. Yep. And then he will transform, and then you'll use the active skill for the solo Kamehameha and just end the fight. Like,
yeah, you know, like, so. Like, come on, like, just the dude is just, oh my God, yeah. So he's just a jack of all trades. He does everything really well. Now, we're gonna get into Gohan here in just a second, guys. But I wouldn't be. Nolar and I were talking about this earlier. We wouldn't be surprised if Gohan, in terms of top numbers / calculations, however you want to look at it, probably will be stronger than Cell. Like, you know, those whole like perfect numbers, perfect scenario type stuff. But let's be honest, how often are you going to see that? And again, we'll get into Gohan in a minute, so
yeah,
we'll have to take a look. So, anything else to say on Cell before we move on to Gohan?
No, I'm excited. I mean, we know that there's a Cell Junior coming, and in Android 16. Right. So, I'm kind of curious how that Cell Junior is going to work out on the team. Like, is he going to be a Android Cell Saga support, or is he gonna link really well with the LR Cell? Like, I don't really know, and that kind of makes it curious to me. It could pump the numbers for Cell even further,
especially if he's a support unit. If he's a support unit, whew, yikes!
If he links well and is a support unit, like that could put a huge, you know, he could be hitting huge numbers. I'm talking 5 plus 6 million damage.
Yep, exactly. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. But I'm excited. I'm definitely excited to see Cell in action. So, all right, let's move now on to, I'm going to call it the biggest controversial LR that we have seen so far. Probably, I think. Am I okay to say that?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Pre-showcase / pre-data download, biggest controversial LR I think I've seen in the community for quite a while. And of course, I am talking about the LR Super Saiyan Gohan Youth, who's going to go into Super Saiyan 2. So let's take a look at this guy real quick, and then we're going to give our initial thoughts, okay? Leader skill, Kamehameha category, Ki +3, HP and HP up 130%, attack and defense up 170%. Or Super AGL types, Ki +3, stats up 120%. So he's an AGL unit, just like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, which I honestly didn't think he'd be AGL. That's a little like,
yeah. I mean, Super AGL is pretty stacked as it is. I don't know
why. It's pretty stacked. Now they're getting more stacked. So it's just like, all right, whatever, game. I guess you do what you do. All right, so pre-transformation Gohan, actually his passive skill, I like it. I like it a lot. So passive skill, attack and defense up 100%, +1 Ki. Ki +1 plus an additional attack and defense up 10% for at the start of each turn for a max of 5 Ki and attack and defense up 70%. If that sounds familiar to you guys, it is. It's very similar to the transforming tech Future Trunks. Once Future Trunks goes into Super Saiyan, every turn he comes back, he gets an additional attack and defense up 10%, and he gets +1 Ki for a max. I think Trunks might be a little bit lower. Again, I'm just going off of pure memory here. But nonetheless, it's the exact same passive there for the most part. Super attack, 12 Ki super attack, raises defense consistently. Doesn't stop, just keeps raising defense, and it causes colossal damage to the enemy. 18 Ki attack is the same thing, except obviously mega colossal damage. So the only difference between him and the Trunks is that he's not raising attack every single super attack, but he's raising his defense. So this is going to tank. He's already an LR. He's going to tank a lot real quick. So that's really good. Categories, Kamehameha, Hybrid Saiyans, Full Power, Goku's Family, Youth, Transformation Boost, and Cell / Android Saga. All right, before we get into the biggest controversy part, which is his active skill, thoughts on the Gohan before his transformation?
As passive skills, great. I mean, that's like, you know, we played with Tech Trunks, and he's awesome, so I had no doubt this is going to be just as good. And consistently, the Kaioken effect on the defense is awesome for events. Like, he'll be good to test on the Legendary Goku event, you know, before you can activate his active skill. And the category, we're making the assumption that the link, the Kamehameha link, the majority of people in that has that link will be in the category. If that's the case, that's a really good category. There's a lot of options.
It's a pretty good category. The only downside, of course, is that we, of course, wanted half sands. We wanted a true new half sand category or hybrid sands, but I guess we got to keep waiting, unfortunately. I just hope they don't do another future or another Ultimate Gohan, because
yeah, I mean, and the other thing too is like, you know, so someone said on Twitter, and it kind of makes sense. Kamehameha is like discount Goku family with like some extra like villains thrown in there, so like Cell and whatnot. So I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But you know, if you can run and throwing Cell in there completely makes sense when you look at the active skill, which we can go to next.
Yeah, we're gonna go to next here. But I will say one final thing real quick. I mean, the nice thing about the Kamehameha category, assuming it goes off of what the link shows us, I mean, you can do something like where you have this LR Gohan with the like transforming Namek Goku, because we're gonna get into his secondary active or passive skill when he transforms in a second. You can run the LR Gohan or Vegito and Gogeta because they're on there, or you can run the LR Go Bros or LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku if you wanted to. You know, and then for some, I mean, they've even got some decent support units. They've got the Great Saiyaman 2 World Tournament support unit, which is still an amazing support unit. It's +2 key, attack and defense up 30%. That's an amazing support unit right there for that team. And they've got some others. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, like the physical Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, the teen one, you know, 35% attack and defense. Like, there's a lot of good supports in there.
Yeah, there are. So, so looking at this right here, we're like, okay, we're doing good. Let's see what's next. And then we get into this part, active skill. Okay, so this is how you're going to transform him into the legendary beast himself of Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan. Okay, active skill can be activated when HP is 58% or less, with Android 18 on the team. That's one 16, scenario in order to, or 16, sorry. So that's one scenario in order to transform him. Another way to do it is, or when HP is 50% or below, and an existing Android category ally, or the enemy starting from the 5th turn, or an enemy, okay? So they're basically 3 scenarios, okay? So either A, 58% HP or less, with Android 16 on your team. So that, we're assuming that hopefully the new 16 will become AGL, otherwise it's going to be impossible, basically. Right. Or you're facing off against an Android enemy category opponent, or you have an Android ally with you, which is why a lot of people are thinking that you'll want to run the LR Cell on this team with him. Again, he picks up the same category with the Kamehameha, so it does fit.
Right. Yeah, but the last 2 parts, you got to be 58% below and after 5 turns.
After 5 turns and 58% health. Yeah.
So like with 16 on your team, it just means you could technically get LR Gohan to transform on the 2nd turn. So like my scenario was turn 1, you take a crap ton of damage, but you don't have LR Gohan. Turn 2. Gohan shows up and you're below 58% and you have Android 16, then you can automatically activate the skill, right? Like you could do that. But that scenario was kind of like way out there.
That's
the most likely scenario is 5 turns. And in that case, you're going to have at least an Android ally, or you're facing an Android enemy. So,
because let's be absolutely honest here. What event puts you below 58% HP with a decent... I mean, because obviously, like, you know, you could say, yeah, if I run some random free-to-play team on Super Battle Road, my HP is going to get killed. But we're assuming... I mean, obviously, if you have the Gohan, or even if you just run the LR Goku or something like that, or run some category units that puts this LR Gohan as a friend, you throw on the 16 because maybe you're lucky enough to get him. What event are you really going to go below 58% health in this day and age in the game?
You're absolutely right.
It's very RNG based, right? I could get lucky, get super attacked maybe on the super stage of Super Battle Road with a Frieza and his minions, and okay, fine, I'm below 58% HP, and I can get my transformation off. But again, that's very RNG heavy right there. So. And I'm just not a fan of... I've never been a fan of below this huge HP threshold. I still, to this day, hate it on the LR, Vegito, and Gogeta. I still hate it to this day.
I mean, I completely agree with you because it makes you play a certain way that I personally don't like playing that way, which is purposely find a way to take more damage than you want to.
Yep, or try to delay the turn because you're not going to get below that HP threshold, or not get the super attack off of this guy, or just I've never been a big fan of that personally. So
yeah, I mean, I proposed a while ago that in order for Gohan to transform, would have been like after the third turn, if someone other than Gohan takes a super attack, he transforms. You know what I mean? Like, I would prefer that because that would have been in line kind of canonically. Because someone gets hurt, Gohan gets pissed off and transforms. Like that would make sense to me.
Right. This
is like super restrictive. I'm not saying you can't get it done, but more than not, you're not gonna see that. You're gonna have to play very differently in order to activate the skill, and that completely just does not gel with me.
Yeah, and again, we're all assuming that the new Android 16 will be AGL. I mean, it would be stupid of them to put that into the active skill and not make him AGL. But if they don't,
right?
Like, when in the world are you going to be running an Android 16 with just Gohan, unless you also pull the LR Cell and then run them under the Android/Cell Saga category? Like, that's just. Yeah.
The other thing too that if you're looking at his categories, you listed it off, but the other thing that really makes this card a lot less, in my opinion, compared to Cell, is that you won't really get your active skill off in the hybrids, Saiyans, in Goku's family or youth, because you won't be running a Android category ally on your team because they don't exist in that category. The only way you can get your active skill off is if you're facing an Android enemy. Which, again, how many of those events exist, right? So inherently, he's not going to ever see his full potential in about 2/3 of the categories he's in.
Yep.
So that's kind of the downside.
And a lot of the events, again, you're not facing off against an Android enemy, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you might occasionally run into an Android in something like Super Battle Road. But again, that's very RNG heavy. You've got to assume. I mean, these guys are going to be powerful already. So you're again not going to get below that 58% HP a lot of the times, right? And I can even I can already see some comments going like, well, you guys are whales, you rainbow a lot of stuff. I guarantee you, even if you've got 0 dupes into this guy, you give him plus 2,000 free, and you've got some other guys that have maybe 2 dupes or something like that, you're still not going to see it that often, I personally think. So again, we'll have to see when testing comes out, when we get them into our hands and we actually try them out. But based on what we're seeing and what we've known with below 58% HP restrictions, it's going to be tough. It's definitely going to be tough. So
I mean, the only thing that helps is the fact that the leader skill is 130 HP and attack defense 170. So like inherently, you're going to have less HP, but still, that's just putting a band-aid on something.
That's a band-aid on something that I think generally a good chunk of people are not going to find fun because you can say only 130% HP, but let's be honest now, we find most teams these days with 400,000 plus HP, 500,000 plus HP. I mean, let's look at a different team. Let's look at Super Saiyan 3 Bardock's team, one of the most restrictive teams in the entire game. Still, he only gives 130% HP. I don't even have LR Goku, okay? I don't have the LR Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and I run something like, just the AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I run a team, the Gohan Super Saiyan 3, the Vegeta Super Saiyan 3. I still reach easily 450,000 HP. No problem. No problem whatsoever.
And again, I mean, 130 makes it sound pretty low, but like you said, consider Easy A's, right?
Yeah.
Put Easy A units, they inherently have stats closer to LR level than, other cards. So
exactly. So all right, so let's quickly get on to what he is though, if you are somehow lucky enough to get the transformation. Okay, so Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, I hate that they call him youth, he's teen in my book still, okay? Anyway, leader skill is exactly the same. Passive skill, okay, so this is gonna mirror kind of similar to the current LR Gohan that is out right now, but a little bit different, okay? Passive skill, attack up 20% and defense up 7% per key sphere obtained, plus an additional key plus 1 for every key spear obtained, okay? So that right there is very similar to the current LR Gohan is out, but obviously adds defense, plus you've been stacking defense via your super attack via pre-transformation, so that's definitely a lot better right there in terms of defensive-wise for this character. Okay, randomly changes key spears of a certain type to rainbow key spears when facing off against one opponent. So for example, if you're on the Legendary Goku event and you are obviously only facing one opponent, then every turn he's going to change those orbs to rainbow, which are going to help him out a lot to get his 18 key super attack. Launches an additional super attack when facing off against multiple opponents. Okay, so against a Legendary Goku event, you can't do that at all. But if you're on Super Battle Road, you can do that. But you're not going to change the orbs in Super Battle Road, so you've got to make sure you've got either an orb changer with you or you're good at predicting your orbs for the next turn. So there's that. And then the final one. Plus an additional attack 59% when performing an Ultra Super attack. So that right there is not too bad. But you have on your team, you have to have a Super Saiyan Goku attacking in the same turn. We're going to get into that, how that can be either really restrictive or that could actually be okay. We're going to get into that in just a second, okay? 12 key super attack greatly raises defense for 1 turn and causes mega colossal damage to the enemy. 18 key super attack greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes mega colossal damage to the enemy. Okay, so first off, before we get into anything, can I just say something on this quick side note here, because this card's always been brought up. Who in the world is making some of these cards? If we can get something like LR Kale and Caulifla to do multiple super attacks, have some of the best category enemies if you're facing off against or on your team to do all these multiple super attacks, but we can't give it to a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan that you're going to restrict left and right, basically. Like, it just blows my mind, honestly. So, all right. Anyway, let's get into this. So, thoughts on the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan post transformation?
All right, so post-transformation, he's just a power crept version of LR Gohan, right?
Yes.
I mean, the 20% attack and 7% defense. Like on the int one, he gets 18% and he gets no defense. So this one gets an extra 2% attack and 7% defense. So that's inherently good. Plus, if you've been stacking defense in the pre-transformation stage, that's pretty awesome.
Right.
The weird part, you know, if you're facing one enemy, you get rainbow key spheres, and then if you get multiple enemies, you get additional super attacks. They made that super restrictive, in my opinion. But he can be super powerful either way. I see why they did it. They're trying to, quote unquote, and I'm doing air quotes here, balance the card. Sure, whatever. Like if you left it there, he's pretty decent. Okay. But the last bit is what really confuses the shit out of me. Because if you just said if he got another 59% for just an Ultra Super attack, which he will probably get a lot of the time, then sure, that's a broken card. But having Super Saiyan Goku attacking in the same turn, there's one point you brought up. Does that mean Super Saiyan Goku has to attack first before Gohan? Or does that just mean he could be the floater and attack? And then the other thing is it just Super Saiyan 1 Gokus? Or is it just... like with the Chi-Chi card says Goku Youth, it can be Goku Youth or Goku Youth Ape. So if that's the case, maybe it just means any Super Saiyan Goku, like Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, God, whatever. Like if it was the latter part where you can use any Super Saiyan type of Goku, 1, 2, 3, 4, and God and Blue, then that's not too bad. That's not bad at all. But if it's just Super Saiyan 1 Goku, then at best you're limited to 2 cards. One that's actually like the LR Tech Super Saiyan 1 Goku, like the Prime Battle one, and then the STR transforming Namek Goku. Like those are the only
let's be honest, you'd want the Namek transforming Goku, honestly, because who really runs the Prime Battle Super Saiyan Goku anymore, right?
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like the name itself, Super Saiyan 1 Goku. There's a ton of them. Like,
and for anyone wondering, why we think that maybe he has to attack first, if you guys look at any unit that has one of those, you know, like if you're in the first slot, then you get this dodge or something like that. The AGL Vegito has it from the World Tournament. The free-to-play Barter has it, I believe, from the Ginyu Force. In order for that dodge part of their passive or give whatever defense boost or whatever part of their passive, if they're in the first slot, they have to attack first. They don't get it if they are getting attacked and then they attack first. They don't get it, okay? So again, we don't know. We'll have to take a look at it when he comes out and everything. So that's one that could be a good. That could just be, again, you could have Goku off rotation, throw a couple Gokus onto your team, boom, you're gonna get that additional 59% attack. Okay. And then again, if he has to be a Super Saiyan Gohan, is it Super Saiyan 1? Because I need to personally look at the kanji here. Is it going to say Super Saiyajin? Or is it going to say just Super Saiyajin Goku? Because if it says Super Saiyajin, you can have Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, 4, God, and Blue. If it says Super Saiyajin Goku, that automatically puts it down to just normal Super Saiyan Goku, which is very, very restrictive. So
yeah, like I said, you can only have 2 technically. You
Yes.
know,
Yep.
one that just says Super Saiyan Goku, and then the transforming one because
Yep.
he's base Goku and then transforms into
Yep.
Super
And you
Saiyan
and you wouldn't be able to do something like bring the AGL transformation Goku because he transforms on turn. And the chances of you having Super Saiyan 2 Gohan on your second rotation. So, I mean, so like your best perfect scenario for that part right there would be to have a first rotation. Everyone gets super attacks, somehow get below 58% HP. Have the Android 16 on your team. Turn 2 comes around, gives you the transformation Goku and the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, which then transforms. That would be like the only scenario that would work. Be honest, guys. How often do you think you'd actually see that? Not that often. That's true. So it's, again, I'm not saying this card is bad. He's far from it. But damn, it's like they looked at Cell, they looked at Gohan. Cell, here you go. You can do everything. Gohan, you're gonna probably be more powerful number-wise, but we're gonna throw a crap ton of restrictions at you.
Yeah, and like I said, you have to have all those things.
Yep.
Like the stars have to align in order.
Yep, pretty much. The stars have to align. And again, I know some people are going to go into the comments and say like, you guys are whales, you rainbow everything, or more, you rainbow everything. But but okay, again, let's take a non-dupe complete Kamehameha team. Okay, you've got LR Gohan, you've got some Super Saiyans in there, you've got some other guys that have Kamehameha, and you throw in the Android 16, assuming he's AGL. I guarantee you, based on that leader skill alone, you are still going to be hitting above 350,000 HP, no problem. You're going to be hitting it, no problem. And I can already guarantee and say this with confidence that most people that are playing the game to this day, if they have at least been playing for some decent amount of time, not all of your units, you have some dupes into your units that are in the Kamehameha link. Regardless if they're LRs or not. LR, especially like EZA Goten, EZA Gohan, Family Kamehameha, EZA Goku. You can throw those 3 in there. And I just thought about that. If it's Super Saiyan Goku, then he could work as that.
Oh, that's true.
That Goku. Yeah, so actually, he'd probably be a good one right there. But I'm just saying. I know people always have different decks and everything, but I doubt there's a person out there that has no dupes into every single itty bitty card they have. So your HP is going to be pretty high on this guy. And it just feels like they threw unnecessary restrictions at him, regardless if it is, canon / faithful to the source material and everything. That doesn't always make for good gameplay. It doesn't. Yep. I hate to break it to you guys, but it really doesn't. So it's just, and the only thing, again, that goes against Cell, in my personal opinion, is his category. It's a weird one. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird one in the sense that if you, like for me, I have all the options available, but if you're recently new or don't have a huge box, it's kind of limiting. You don't really have a lot of options.
But he fits onto some good categories, and he can still do everything. You put this LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan onto the other categories, he can't transform half the time. And if you are lucky enough to get him to transform, you have to make sure you've got like a Goku on there and do this and facing off against certain opponents. It just feels unnecessarily restrictive sometimes. And again, maybe that will change when we see him in game, but I don't think it's going to.
Like he won't transform, or he'll rarely transform in Hybrid Saiyans, and if he does, he won't get that extra 59% attack boost because there's no Goku on a half Saiyan team. Right. So that kind of screws you there. On the youth team, there's no androids at all. I thought Arale was an android technically. She's not. So she's the only one that you could even think as being that can activate the skill. So the only thing
most people don't have, most people don't have her. So
exactly. So I don't know. I feel like he's good on this team, like what he's leading, and a couple of others. But everything else, it's very iffy.
It's very iffy. It's very iffy. And maybe he'll get that situation where 5 months later down the road, he'll pop up on some other categories, some other options will come up to make him more viable in some of those other categories. But I don't think it's gonna. It's again, the stars have to align for everything to work for you, basically. And it's just, I don't know. So yeah.
So to wrap it up, you look at the two, and I mean, again, depends on your box, but if you're looking for the more consistent LR, that's definitely Cell.
It's definitely Cell. It's definitely Cell. And I'm calling it right now. I've been calling it for about 2 weeks now. Cell's banner is gonna be better than Gohan's. Cell's gonna be better than Gohan in terms of the banner wise. I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah. What do they do? Normally 10 featured on an LR?
10 featured, yep. So that means we're gonna have the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan / Cell on their individual banners, Cell Jr. and Android 16, some number of Dokkan Fest cards, and then maybe 1 or 2 that are non-Dokkan Fest featured. It depends how mean they want to be to us. So, and the construction outside is being very, very loud right now.
It's all right. But yeah, I mean, just my thoughts. Cell is, if you want the more consistent card with, that's gonna be Cell. But the better category, definitely with there's more options to fill the team, is definitely the Gohan one. It's just as a card itself is just, you got to jump through lots of hoops in order to make him really, really good. I mean, he's good on his own. Pre-transform, he's fantastic, right? But to get him to the transform state and really unleash his power, it's
which is what most people want to see, right? I mean, why would you summon for a Super Saiyan Gohan that can transform but not care about the transformation, right? I guarantee you the eye candy of, hey, he can transform into Super Saiyan 2 is going to draw people into summon for him.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't. Absolutely. Again, we'll have to wait and see what's going on. So anyway, guys, this video has been long enough already. So let us know all your thoughts down below in the comments. As always, leave a like if you liked the video. And just, who are you going to go for? Who do you think on paper looks better? Who do you think maybe over time will grow better? And all that stuff. We'll have to wait and see. So any final words, man?
No, that's it. Good luck on your summons. I'm pretty sure Tallen and I will do a live stream.
Yeah, we'll be live streaming our summons whenever the banners come live. I think probably Thursday, maybe. Thursday, Friday, I'm going to guess, if I had to take a wild guess. I know technically the Cell events are saying like 2 days or something like that until they're back or something, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So
yeah, we'll schedule it out because I'm assuming this is going to drop, at least for me, middle of my day. Yeah, because that's usually what happens, and I'll be at work, so we'll
wait till you get back, and we'll have to wait and see what's going on. So anyway, guys, like I said before, let us know your thoughts down below in the comments. As always, leave a like if you liked the video, subscribe if you happen to be new, and follow us over on Twitch as well. Links will be down in the description. This will be interesting. We'll have to see what's going on. So anyway, that's gonna be it for the video, though, guys. Until next time, everyone, I will see you all in the next one.